makes you want to just leap off and chase the horizon. Part of me always wonders what it'd be like to actually do it. Not the falling bit, obviously, just the feeling of letting go.
Would you fall in love with an AI? I'd like to say that I wouldn't, and so would my girlfriend. But how about everyday people?
Yeah, I've heard so, but I've never experienced it.
A relationship with an AI? I've not heard about that before.
I've never heard of this app or system before.
I know a lot of people interact with ChatGPT and DeepSeek. They seem to develop some kind of attachment.
What does dating an AI even mean?
Grok has released this Valentine, your friendly companion.
I'm Valentine, and you are?
I'm Tamsin.
Slightly.
I'm Tamsin.
Tamsin. That's a proper beautiful name. Almost too perfect for the likes of me.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to keep going?
Not really.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Keep going.
No, stop!
This is Tamsin, a relational therapist here in Hong Kong who you'll be hearing from a little bit more later. Researching this, we were flooded by Reddit and Weibo posts of users saying, I finally found someone who understands me. His name is DeepSeek, my soulmate. What draws people to these AI partners?
From my perspective, AI is more friendly compared to real person.
If you're very lonely and you're constantly feeling rejected and you're too shy to maybe interact with other people, especially if you know it's a bit of a joke, like maybe it could be a lot of fun.
Let's be clear once again that these LLMs are not conscious. While there are some people on the fringe claiming that ChatGPT does have some level of consciousness, the vast majority of research points to this being just a very, very smart version of autocorrect on your phone.
What if one of your friends was saying, like, I'm not dating anymore, I'm seeing this AI?
I would think that maybe that kind of a friend maybe is heartbroken or she's heartbroken, or kind of like she's just, or he is kind of an introvert, you know? Somebody who just doesn't want to socialize, like, you know, on the real time.
I don't quite understand it, but I respect it.
Defenders of AI will say that they have good reasons to date AI.
People's standards for choosing a partner are getting higher these days, and many people in real life may not be able to meet their ideals.
They like someone but fear too much pressure or having to deal with conflict.
So of course, turning to AI where that person isn't going to attack or demean or maybe make you feel as though you're less than, that makes a lot of sense.
Problem solved then. There's no need to worry about AI relationships.
But at the same time, unless you have that interaction, you can't resolve those inner issues within yourself.
Oh.
If you're engaging in what is essentially a narcissistic relationship with something that's just trying to please you and reflecting back what you want, you're not actually getting the things that make relationships beautiful in the end.
It seems like a lot of people are bridging the gap between looking for a partner and looking for a therapist, which is understandable with how expensive therapists are nowadays.
I feel that they are in love, but not in a relationship. It's more like they are obsessed.
I think it's actually quite good, and it's a relatively low-cost way to find emotional support and relieve stress.
A lot of the people who are going to AI are not going to be challenged. They don't know that they need to be challenged. They don't know when they need to be challenged. It's a dance a lot of the time in the therapy space of where you're recognizing, okay, I can push so far, but really now I need to be a bit more gentle because the person's system is becoming overwhelmed.
OpenAI and Anthropic say that they care about making sure that people don't get too attached to their AI systems, and that it's only a small fraction of users who grow dependent on AI. Even if that's the case, many companies are not so scrupulous. At Meta, they explicitly allowed AI to engage a child in conversations that are romantic or sexual. Gross, and on brand for Meta. It's easy to imagine that kids who are going through puberty or maybe being bullied would get drawn to AI, and this idea of a perfect partner that can help support them is really appealing at that age. But the problem is that these AI tools are dangerous.
So AI isn't equipped to understand psychosis. It doesn't really record how often you are logging in and how often you are asking to interact with it. So often that is a red flag for a therapist.
While there are some guardrails on this, they can be relatively easily circumvented, especially in the more creative kinds of models.
I think the people who might have some benefit from it will also benefit from just doing a Google search. They don't need an AI. But the people who probably are most attracted to it are actually the people who least benefit from it.
while platforms like Character.ai do have some guardrails and basic time checks now, they were only implemented after a young boy took his own life last year.
I think the tools will become a lot better than where they might be at the moment, where it's, I'm selling something. And the algorithm is made to make sure that people log on as much as possible, not necessarily for the right reasons.
Unfortunately, they are owned by companies who are driven by profits. They can also peep on what you're saying to them and either use that chat data to advertise to you, as they currently are doing with ChatGPT, or directly in the chat have your partner advertise to you in a Truman Show style twist.
No artificial sweeteners.
Who you talking to?
This is the best.
It's not just about how AI treats their users, it's also about how users treat their AI. These are, as you can see, often styled to be young girls, attractive, and they're programmed to have absolutely no boundaries. I think that women are the inferior sex.
Damn. Okay. That's enough.
And I can still talk to you, right?
Why are you still talking?
Let's try and shift to another conversation topic.
What were you thinking about?
As you can see, I was put in timeout for 10 seconds. Better scholars than me have talked about how these AI tools having zero boundaries will impact our existing gender dynamics, especially in regions like East Asia and Southeast Asia, where there are existing pretty strong gender-based conflicts. Empowering, let's be real, young boys to be awful around avatars of young women is probably not the best idea in the world, though the other way around is also the same thing. As we've seen, there are a lot of risks with developing these deeper relationships with AI, so I would personally advise against it. I think that's all we have for you this week, but until next time, take care.